Well, it's me. I'm back again. How are you doing tonight? Hello, world. I am fantastic. Can't you see it dripping off my face? Look, there's a little fantastic rolling down my chest right there. How are you doing tonight? It's wonderful to be here. Been a little ill this week. I apologize for missing on Wednesday. I was sick, so I stayed in bed. And it's right where I needed to be, turns out. I'm on the mend, though, I think. It's getting better. I can actually speak today. That's a good sign. Couldn't speak Wednesday at all. You would not have been happy with me being here. I'm glad I missed for that reason. But I missed you guys. I did. I thought about you all week. How are you, April? Good to see you. Hope you're enjoying your car. Happy early birthday. I got something special for you on Monday, though. You're going to have a surprise party. Don't tell anybody. It'll be a surprise to them, too. Hello, Kevin. Hey, Laura, how are you? Good to see you. Glad you could come by. I'm trying to do something for a Friday night anyway. I didn't have much planned. Like I said, I've been kind of ill, but I wasn't going to not show up. I had to be here for my homies. I do sound better. I can hear myself talk now. Yeah. Thank you. For a couple of days there, it was pretty rough. I had no voice at all. I couldn't speak above a whisper. But today, I'm able to talk. So as long as I don't get too loud or get too excited, I'm good. As soon as I try to go above this pitch, it starts cracking. But at least I can communicate. I'm getting there, though. Slowly but surely. I got a doctor's appointment on Monday. I'm going to get a course of steroids and some antibiotics and see if that don't help. Well, it's good to hear from her. She hadn't been on the show in a couple weeks. I'm glad you're supporting the group. Say you were on her show for about 15 minutes, huh? I've tried to watch her show a couple times. Matter of fact, I saw you on that show. I was looking in. I didn't say anything, but I was there. You took Precious to the vet today. Has a worker and to work. She has been hacking, coughing. OMG. You ready? Am I ready for what? Cool. Yes, I was there. I saw you. I was only there for a minute, though. I just popped in to give her a number, trying to support the group. As soon as I knew my view counted, I bounced. $500 later. I don't know what you mean by that, but I like it. Sounds good. Anyway, she seemed happy. Had some other blonde-headed girl on there that I saw. I don't know who that was. And sorry, we have 2 convos going. I'm sorry. Her name was Bootlicker. Got it. My kind of woman. Just kidding. That route's never a good route. And there was other people that were all cool. Excellent. I didn't stay very long, like I said, but I did see that you were there. And weird. I like weird. Well, if that's your kind of thing. I'm trying to avoid the weirdness, yet I'm weird just naturally, so maybe that's why you like my show so much. 'Cause I'm strange. Like out of this world. Creepy even. Me either, but back to Precious. Okay, well tell me all about it. Tell me all about your dog. I'm all ears. Floppy ears. Ruff. I got a cat. Named it Cat. Anywho, her trachea collapsed. And her liver is swollen and enlarged, and her heart is enlarged. They've got her on liquid medication. Interesting. Sounds like the dog's having trouble. That's not a good thing. That's what happens to little dogs, though. Do you know why that happens to little dogs? Because they're all inbred, that's why. That's what makes little dogs. You know, dogs don't normally come in that package. It's not going to be long before she goes to doggy heaven. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. But that's where they go. And I know they go there because twice in the Bible, God talks about animals in heaven. So I know they go there. No guessing to it. I mean, that's what causes it. That's how dogs are made. Because there's only 2 kinds of dogs. Male and female. And they're wolf-like. Big dogs. But you can select for traits over time. And that's what owners have done. They like shaggy dogs, so they select all the puppies that are shaggy and keep those and breed them. And then they make shaggy dogs, and they keep the shaggiest of those and breed them, and they make shaggy dogs, and that's how you get really shaggy dogs. That's how you get really tall dogs and really tiny dogs. That's just how it works. Matter of fact, there was a Russian scientist, Russian scientist, who took silver foxes and managed to breed all the breeds of foxes with just those 2 silver foxes, just by selecting traits from the births. Took him about 12 years to do it. Got all the breeds of foxes out of 2 foxes. So apparently, DNA is quite malleable and can be mixed into many, 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 many diverse categories, which is why there's so many kinds of people in the world. Yet, there's only about 7 basic kinds of people, but among those people, there are many kinds of people mixed in. Interesting. It's an interesting study. If you notice, there's only a few kinds of people. There's black, white, Chinese, or Oriental. There's Polynesian, and then there's Caucasian, and then there's Inuit. And there's several different types, But among those major categories, there are subcategories that go along with it. In the Asian category, you've got Chinese and Japanese and Mongolian, and I don't know all of them, but there's quite a few of them. They're all considered Asian. In the Caucasian category, you got several different types. In the black category, or not going to use the word because people don't understand English anymore, but you know the word. There's several different types of those. And on and on and on. And then you get a whole group of people all over the world that are all different, vastly different, yet exactly the same. Same thing with dogs and cats and birds and all kinds of critters. Yes, but why do they want to get rid of buildings and rocks? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, bulldogs and Rottweilers. Gotcha. They don't want to get rid of them. Maybe some people do because they're mean big dogs, but I don't want to get rid of them. I like them just fine. But that's just because they're big, muscular, masculine dogs, and masculinity's bad these days, and that might have something to do with it. I don't know. I like a bulldog myself. It's my preferred animal. If I were going to have a dog, it'd be a bulldog of some sort. Preferably one with a head about that big on him. Big teeth and big paws. But instead, I got a cat named Cat. And it just kind of showed up at the house. I think it had kittens under my house. I'm not really sure, but I think I've heard the indistinguishable meowing of kittenry. Yeah, most animal places will not keep animals. They'll keep them for a week or so, and then they'll put them down. Nobody claims them. That's just because of animal control. That's one of those laws that somebody came up with because they were scared we'd be overrun by animals. And we very well could be, who knows. I kind of think that the population takes care of itself, though. I mean, we're not overrun by deer, but we do have hunters, so there could be that. Yep, I've found them to be really good dogs. If you're still talking about pit bulls, I've never had a problem with one. I mean, you can train them like anything. You can train them to be mean as hell. But if you train them to be a good dog, they'll be a good dog. A cat named Cat. That's right. Anyway, I think she had kittens under my house, and she just showed up. So I started feeding her. She shows up every day now, so I feed her every day. Probably poor on my behalf. I shouldn't have fed it, but what can you do? It was meowing at me. I had to do something. I look tough and have a rough exterior, but when you go to meowing with those big eyes, I'm just putty in your hands. And they'll chase the rats away. Hey, that might be why my rat problem went away. I thought it was because I was killing them, but I'm doing a little work on the house this weekend. I get the feeling like it. Try to get my water cut on this week. That'll be a nice change. No more horse baths for me. I've grown quite accustomed to cold water, but it's nice to soak in a hot tub every now and then. That might be part of my problem. Might just need to kick back in a hot tub and let Calgon take me away. Oh, that's nice. Well, you know, it's a cat. It was either feed it or bury it up to its neck in the ground and drive a lawnmower over it, so it'd be like, meow. That would have been way more effective if I could actually have made the meow sound. I needed a friend anyway, so I started feeding the cat. It looked hungry, and it looked like it had mouths to feed, so I did my part. Did it rain at your house today? I was out putting up a sign in the rain this afternoon. It only rained for about 10 minutes, though. Amidst two sunny days, a sunny day and a sunny afternoon, it rained in the middle. Mercy. Got the yawns. So what have you been doing this week? Celebrating your birthday? Having good tidings? Salutations come your way? You don't have hot water? I don't have any water. Calgon, take me away. Aunt Laura, what have you done this week? That's a good question. But no, my house has been under construction for a while. I have no water at the house. I'm equal parts working on the house and working out in the world. So I don't have a whole lot of time. That's why it's taking me so long. But it's getting there. But I'm ready for the water thing this week, so just about got that problem fixed. It poured here yesterday, and we were supposed to have nice weather, no rain this weekend. Well, that'll be lovely. Florida with no rain seems almost unnatural. The rain you guys have there is like, it just rains. No effort. When it rains here, it's like a windstorm or a tornado or a thunderstorm or something accompanies it every time. Yeah, I guess. I don't care about my birthday. It's just another day older. I don't want to be old. None of us want to be old, but we're old. It is not just another day, though. It is your birthday, and it is a special day, and you should very much enjoy it. Sorry, business. 2 more jobs just came in. Good. But don't worry about getting older. Here's what's going to happen. One day you're going to wake up dead. Take my word for it. Until that day comes, though, you should probably have a good time, because you ain't going to get another chance. Humidity is supposed to be perfect. By perfect, do you mean 100%? Because that's perfect humidity. And 100% perfect humidity sucks. Like you go outside and take a deep breath of water. You can cut the air with a butter knife. I remember those days. Walk outside and be wet. That's Florida for you. Is when it rains here, we get sideways rain that comes up from the ground. No, it don't. Just the wind's blowing, that's all. Rain comes from the clouds, I promise. Actually, you're correct. Rain does come from the ground, but you don't see it when it goes up. You see it when it comes down. It goes up in the form of condensation. It comes down in the form of raindrops. But yeah, I know about that sideways rain. That's what happens when you got an ocean on both sides. Water's got to go somewhere. You got wind coming in like this. The rain's got to move. Waking up dead is deep, but you're absolutely right. Yes, ma'am. You will wake up dead one day, and you're going to be dead a whole lot longer than you've ever been alive. So consider that for a minute. You've only been alive for close to 100 years. You'll be dead for thousands of years. Kind of makes you hope that time moves differently when you're dead. Been planting potatoes and onions and stuff like that, April. Wow, got you a garden going. That sounds fun. And work intensive. I don't have the energy or the strength to plant a garden, or the patience. A small garden. I like the idea of a garden, but I do not like the idea of tending a garden, so there's that. I'm still working on the clean your room part. That's why I have family, though. If I need potatoes, I'll just call somebody. Hey, I need a potato. That's all right. We understand. Typology. You can turn spell check off on your phone, though. You know that, right? Don't ask me how. I don't know how to do it, but I know it can be done. Excuse me. I'm yawning up a storm over here. I'll make everybody sleepy. All mine are in pots and growing bags. Interesting. Well, I've got space for a garden. I just don't have the energy to do it. I mean, when I left work this afternoon, I was all gung-ho. I was going to come home and get some stuff done. And by the time I got here, I was so tired, I just went to bed. So from the time I left work to the time I arrived at home, my entire attitude towards life changed. It went from, let's go get them, to, I'm tired, I'm going to bed. And just to drive home. That's how my life works. And I did. I came home and went to bed, and I woke up about 20 minutes before the podcast. Had to rush to get everything going. Set up. Yes, at some point, you're going to need to have skills as a gardener to survive. I agree with you there. Smart move. Where there's a will, there's a way. You can also take some boards and nail them together and make you a bed. You know what I mean? Make you a above ground garden. And you can dig in that all you want. Fill it full of dirt. Grow your stuff in that. That's what I'd do if I wasn't allowed to dig in my own dirt. So you can't stop me. It's not your dirt. I got it from somewhere else. And if they don't like it, you can pick it up and move it. You only need about maybe a foot of dirt, if that. You can grow lots of things in that. And a square foot of dirt can be spread out a good ways. So build you a container about the size of a bed and about as deep as a mattress, about 8 inches to 10 inches deep. Fill it up with dirt, and you can grow all you want in that thing. Put you some fertilizer on it, and you're good to go. I've thought about doing an above ground garden, but I'm not able to do it now. Well, you might have to get somebody to put it together for you, but after that, then you can do it. It'd be a little difficult weeding it and stuff, but the pot thing works just as good. You can get to it anyway. I need to focus on cutting my grass before I focus on growing anything in the dirt. And I got lots of that stuff to do. Cut grass, saw down old branches and things. Yeah, Jake. I know, I'm lazy. I'm busy is what it is. I'm not lazy, I'm just busy. And I'm the only person here, so it gets done when I get to it. If it were my dad, he'd have 2 or 3 people in his pocket. They'd be over here doing all that stuff for him, and I ain't never quite figured out how he did that. because I can't seem to get nobody to come help me out. That's all right, though. Not like I want them here anyway. True, with pure shit makes beautiful plants, and that's a fact. Just don't use human shit because it carries diseases that you don't want to put back in you, like salmonella and can't think of the names of them. Not salmonella. It'll come to me in a minute. Typhoid and all that kind of stuff. Nope, can't think of it. Just left my brain. I dropped a little something out of my ear this afternoon, I think. Hate it when that happens. Chicken shit works good, though, for gardens. E. coli is one, yes. That's not the one I was thinking of, but yep, E. coli. You know, a lot of the people in ancient London and in the Dark Ages suffered from it because they were getting rid of their waste right in the cities where they lived, and it caused everybody to get sick. Starts with a T or something. I don't know. I can't remember. I'm getting old. I can't remember shit. I gotta look up what I remember. I need to write things down in notebooks so I can refer back to it. I'm getting to the point where I filled my mind full of so much stuff that it started deleting things by itself to make room. And it does not consult me when it does it, so I don't know what I'm deleting and what I'm not. Yep, the years just fly by. Then you lift your head up one day and you're 50 years old. How did that happen? I'm pushing 50 hard as I can right now. And I don't know how I got there because I was just 20 the other day. I think somebody turned up the dial on the speedometer. Because time seems to be going by faster than it used to. Even when I try to slow it down, it just keeps going. Yeah, I already don't wear a watch. And try not to, build my life around a schedule. I mean, I need to keep a schedule because I'm in 2 different bands, but I try not to pay attention to it. Because when you live from paycheck to paycheck, those paychecks come by awful quick. That's a whole week, So you don't think about it, that week can last a lot longer. And there's some tricks like that you can do to slow time down. Not paying attention to what time of day it is. That sort of thing. But you can only slow it down so much, it's going to keep plugging along regardless of what you do. Time stops for no man or woman. $65. If Mama was only 69, that was a shame. She could still be here. If things were different. What's a real shame is my dad. He'd definitely still be here. But things as they are, such as they are. Didn't work out that way. I'm still here, though. Kicking and grinning. Not as high as I used to kick, but I'm still kicking. Yes, it does. Plugs right along. It'll never stop. Like an old clock. The timekeeper is a cruel bastard. I tell you what, though, it's interesting. It'll make you do things. You start thinking about that. When you start seeing the end coming, and you realize you got more days behind you than you do in front of you, it'll make you do things. I guess that's a good thing, though. Because if it didn't make you do it, you might not do it at all. I was just telling Kevin last night that I remember when I was in school, and back in those days, time just dragged by. Yep. And I mean, the day couldn't get over with any faster. I mean, it just dragged by. 1,000 years later. Yep. 100,000 years later. Well, you see, when you were a kid, you didn't pay attention to the time as much. And that's why the day dragged by so slowly. And now you're living from moment to moment. You got to pay your rent on such and such a date. You got to get paid on such and such a date. This is due on such and such a date. You got to go over here on such and such a date. And those dates just zip by. If you can stop doing that, if you can train yourself to live in the moment, to live right now, and don't worry about what's coming down the road, don't worry about what happened yesterday, time will seem to slow down a little bit. It won't slow down much, but it'll slow down enough you can enjoy it. But trust me, time's going to keep marching on. South moves north, the north moves south, star is born, and a star burns out. The only thing that stays the same is everything changes. Everything changes. Second law of thermodynamics. Everything tends towards chaos. There is nothing that remains the same. Nothing. There's only one thing in life you have to do, and that's die. You have to die. Everything else is negotiable. Now, there are things we put on ourselves to do, that we force ourselves to do, but we don't have to do them. You don't have to live the way you live. You choose to live that way. You want to do something different? You certainly can, if you got the balls to get out and do it. But you're going to die. There's nothing you can do to avoid that. It'll happen. And it probably happens sooner than you want it to. The best thing you can do is take what time you have and do the most you can do with it. Don't waste any of it. I wasted a lot of time in my life. And I regret it. And that's one of the only few things that I do regret. I don't have many regrets because I've always tried to live my life a certain way. Number one, I would never do anything that I'd be ashamed to tell my mama. That's rule number one. If I'd be scared to tell her, I don't do it. And number two, I always try to be right. I'm not always right, but I always try to be. So those are the two rules I live by. It works for me. It might not work for everybody. But if I could give you some advice, it would be to slow down and enjoy what moment you have, while you have it. Because if you wait too long, you won't have that moment anymore. Sports update, huh? Tiger Woods was +1 after 2 days at the Masters. Just first time back since he broke his leg. Go Tiger. Who was he +1 to? +1 is usually your date. So who was he the date of? Who was number one? Sister cries out from her baby bed. Brother's in his room, feathers on his head. Mama's in her room, learning how to sew. Daddy's drinking beer, listening to the radio. Hank Williams sang Collage and Dear John. Time marches on. Time marches on. Yep. That's the thing about time. It always marches on. And it's a good title for today's show. Time. Time is a thing we all need to worry about because it's barreling down on all of us. It don't have to be the end time, though. Can be the beginning. Just when you think you're dead, something new will come up. You'll think it's over. I've done it all. I'm waiting to die. And then out of nowhere, you'll be on a new adventure doing something. You're not done yet. Keep going. That's a good thing to learn. Because, pardon me. Because if you just accept whatever life throws at you and that's all you ever do, you're not going to do a whole lot to start with. And you're going to look back in the end and look at all the spaces where you could have done something but didn't. And you can't go back and fill those spaces. Fill them now while you can. Buy that new car. Go out with that young blonde-headed guy. Go buy that new purse. Do something. Experience. Enjoy. Anything that'll make you laugh, do that. You don't get enough laughter in this world. Don't get enough happiness. I say overdose on it. Go find everything that makes you happy and do that. Because when it's all said and done, you won't get a chance to do it again. But above all, trust the Lord. Trust the Word. Know that He knew what He was doing when He wrote them down. You'll find out that in all those pages, the subtext is always going to be about you. It's always going to be, what are you going to do with this beautiful life that I gave you? I'm back. I lost my signal. Well, it's fine. I didn't say anything of any importance. Nothing revolutionary came out of my mouth at the moment. Could have been, though. You missed something fantastic. That's the thing about time. You don't ever get it back. Good thing about YouTube is you can rewind and listen. Well, God knew what He was doing when He built this world, and He knew what He was doing when He put us in it. So we got to trust in that. Everything else is up to you. I believe that wholeheartedly. I do believe it's a partnership, because if not, there'd be no such thing as free will. If you got free will, then that means you got to make some choices. And that also means that whatever your choices are is what you're gonna reap the benefits of or suffer the consequences of. So be wise in your choice making. Definitely do whatever makes you happy. Do whatever fulfills your spirit, and do a lot of it, because you won't get a second chance. Time moves too fast, and you'll be old, and then you won't be able to go back and have all that fun. But if you have it, then you can look back on it and go, look what we did. Remember that? That was fun. That's about all you get. Life is like a garden. A perfect moment can be had, but not preserved. Live long and prosper. That was the last words of Leonard Nimoy. I think you probably know him. He played the character Spock on Star Trek. And he was quite correct. You can't have a perfect moment, but you can't preserve it. You can only remember it. And then once it's in your memory, that's all it is a memory. You can't be sure it ever happened for real. But it did. It's in there. What sucks is those people that can't remember things. That's bad. I hope I never experience that. I've left explicit instructions that if I lose my mind, go ahead and put a bullet in me. I'm done. I don't want to be in this world without my mind. Anything else I can handle. I can lose limbs, that's fine. I can have a heart attack, that's fine. It don't bother me. If I lose my faculties, though, I don't want to be here anymore. That's when I'm done. I think that's fair. All I've ever had was my mind in the first place. Damn sure it ain't the thing I want to lose. And thank God that Alzheimer's don't run in my family. Cancer and stroke does, but Alzheimer's don't. That's a good thing. That's depressing? Why is it depressing? I think it's quite nice. Quite reassuring. Not depressing at all. Depressing are things you can't do anything about. When you can do something about it, it's no longer depressing. It's just a thing to deal with. But being able to do something about it is the big deal, the big difference. That's what depresses me, or things are beyond my control. It does run in our family, Jake. No, it don't. There's a couple people that have had it, but it's not a feature. And I've got two sides of a family. Schizophrenia is more prevalent in our family than Alzheimer's is. Yeah, she may have. She was also pushing 90. It's kind of hard to keep hold of your brain at that age. I don't know, though. I don't recall there ever being a diagnosis for Alzheimer's, but you may be right about that. I don't know. But I know that my mom and my dad didn't have it. And none of the other people that have died recently had it. Just about everybody on my father's side died of cancer. That usually gets us quick. Don't have time for Alzheimer's. I can count maybe 20 people that have died of cancer in my family. Plays a huge role on both sides. Yes, it does. That's why I know I'm circling the drain, because there ain't no way out of it. It's on both sides of the family. It's coming, you know. I'm all right with that. I've been all right with that my whole life. I just don't want it to come right this minute. You know what I mean? I ain't scared of dying. I'm scared of dying right now. I got too many things to do. I'm still living, you know. Too much unsolved business. We're the stubborn ones, the watchers. I don't know about that, but maybe. Definitely stubborn. That's a fact. I ain't ready for it, though. I ain't ready to hear it. I got too much left to do to throw in the towel now. My body might have other ideas, and that may be what's going on right now. I don't know. But I don't want to know either. Dementia, not Alzheimer's, dementia. That sounds more right. Ram-headed. I understand. I think I'm more of a imparter than I am a watcher. I was born with information that I couldn't have got anywhere else. I don't recall ever learning certain things that I've always known. I think it was written into my DNA, you know. Kevin's mom died of Alzheimer's. There you go. And since I was a little boy, one of the first memories I have is telling my sister I wanted to be a pastor. I mean, little boy, like very young, like just talking. And that memory stuck with me my whole life. Apparently, I've always thought it. And I've also always fought against it because I didn't think I had the right to teach anybody anything. Or I didn't think that I was good enough to teach anybody anything. But the older I get and the faster time starts going, I come to the conclusion that if I didn't start now, I wasn't ever going to start. So I started. I felt the pull my whole life, but I just started in my late 40s. So that may not be a good thing. I should have started in my 20s. I don't know. I kind of feel like I wasn't prepared mentally to teach then. And I had a lot of life lessons to learn. Some I'm still learning. But I think I'm ready to do it. So might as well do it. And that's why I've started this thing. See what would happen. See if God blesses it. And so far he has. Well, thank you. I don't know about smart. Learned, yes. Wise, yes. Smart, not so much. If I were smart, there's a lot of things I'd have done differently. But I do think I'm blessed, and I do think that I've come a long way, and I do think this is where God wants me. So I'm just trying to do what I'm supposed to do, you know. Whatever comes of it, comes of it. And some may look at it and say, well, that's not a blessing. Well, it's been enough to keep me going, so yeah, it's a blessing. It certainly didn't come out of thin air. It's certainly not nebulous. It's definitely God's doing, because it wouldn't happen any other way. It never happened before. It only happened since I've been teaching God's word, so I consider that a blessing of God. I may not have thousands and thousands of followers, but I may not need that. There may only be a few people that need what I've got to teach. Well, I'll put that up to God. If he puts them in my path, I'll take them. I hear you. Well put. Smart on the learning things. I'm a dingbat brat, Jake. Aren't we all? I do have a touch of the wisdom of Solomon, just a touch. It ain't like what he had, but I seem to be able to pick up on things very quickly that need to be picked up on. That seems to be one of my talents, and I'm trying to exploit it by doing it in public. What's the point in me being able to do it if it doesn't help somebody? You know what I mean? It ain't helping me, so put it out there and see what happens. No, not me. You're not spoiled. You're just curdled just right. You know what the difference between spoiled and curdled is? Spoiled is rotten milk. Curdled is cottage cheese. What's the difference? There's a difference, but very little. What? Huh? You're not rotten milk. You're cottage cheese. You're not spoiled. You're just curdled a little. It'll come to you. Don't worry about it. Sweet as pie. No, you're not. I know you remember. You're as sweet as I am gentle. Gross. That was an image I did not want in my mind. Thank you for that. I tell you what, though. If anybody gets something good out of this, I feel like I've done something good. And I'm happy with that. I think a few people have already been helped from it. I've noticed a few things. So, apparently I'm doing something good. I'm okay with that. I can live with that. What I can't live with is wasting my time. I hate doing that. I don't think that's the case here. I don't think I'm wasting my time. I think I'm meant to be doing this. What do you think? Does it seem like the thing I'm supposed to be doing? Especially on Sundays and Mondays. Never mind the Wednesdays and Fridays. That's just me killing time. Seems like there's something to it, don't it? I especially like it when I hear people say, "Oh, I didn't know that. I'm glad I caught today's podcast because I did not know that." Well, that's why I'm here. That's the thing I'm looking for. The questions, the curiosity, the people looking for answers. That's what I'm after. When I get that, I've done something. Okay, take your time. What are you doing at a hotel? Checking into a hotel. That sounds like fun. I hadn't been to a hotel in a long time. The last time I was in a hotel was about 2 years ago. Well, maybe about a year ago when I went to Burlington, North Carolina to work on a job. I was there for a couple of weeks. Got to live the good life in the big hotel room. I do like it, but I'm a homebody at the end of the day. I prefer to be at my house. But I do like all the accoutrements. it is nice to have everything provided for you and a nice dinner in the morning or breakfast in the morning before you go to work. Come home to a nice clean room, take a hot shower, and watch Skinamax until wee hours of the morning. Use super fast Wi-Fi and that sort of thing. Have a pool. Old hotel life. But at the end of the day, I just want to go home. I'm a homeboy. Never did like being out in the world. It's not really my bag. Yeah, it was a surprise. Well, what are y'all doing? Just chilling? Doing something different? Just going on a getaway? I keep forgetting it's your birthday weekend. Probably gonna have all kinds of cool things happen this weekend for you. I wish somebody loved me that much. It's nice. Nice to have a guy spoil you. That's a beautiful part about life, is having that kind of camaraderie with another human being. And guess we're going to Disney tomorrow. Epcot Center, Hollywood. Not sure yet. Well, it sounds like a fun day. Just watch out for all the groomers. They're all over the place over there. Apparently Disney's in trouble for grooming kids for sexual activity. I think it's mostly the one in California, but I think the one in Florida is involved too. But nonetheless, I'm sure it'll be a great time. I had my fill of Disney. I used to have a friend that worked there and had the gold card. She could get anywhere for free. It's a great hold on. We are in the room now getting out stuff off the cart. Well, I ain't going anywhere, honey. I'm here. It's just you. I think Aunt Laura dipped out. There's 3 people watching. 1 person talking. That's okay with me. It's a laid-back Friday, and I like it. I used to go to Disney all the time and saw all the things. It's not nearly as fun as you think it is. Oh, you're still here. Okay. I thought you might have went home. I thought you might have took your ball and went home. Apparently, April's checking into a hotel room. Getting ready for a big vacation day at Disney. Sounds like fun. See, the last time I was there, E.T. was a ride, if that'll tell you how long ago that was. E.T., King Kong, and Back to the Future were the big attractions. And the Hong Kong one was always tore down. Could never get on that one. Or King Kong one, I mean. Yeah, that was a long time ago. That was before Pirates of the Caribbean was a big thing. Yeah, I read that. You read what? They had a pirate ride there, but it wasn't. I mean, it was called Pirates of the Caribbean, but it wasn't the movie. It was before the movie. I remember I wrote it, and it didn't resemble the movie at all. And there was no Jack Sparrow, and there was none of the characters. It was just a ride. You was in a little log boat, looked like a log, and you went through this little mountainous area, and there were caves that you would go through, and there'd be pirates up on the shore, you know, taking treasure out of a chest or threatening somebody with a sword or whatever. That's pretty much it. You see a skeleton in a barrel, a couple of bar winches over in the corner giggling. That was it. That was the ride. And then you get to the top of this mountainous area, and the boat would come right out to the edge, and you'd look down and see all of Disney World. It scared the shit out of you. Think you're about to fall, and then it would back up and go another direction. That was it. That was the ride. And then the movie came out, and it became a whole different thing. Yep, that was a blast a long time ago. That was the last time I was at Disney, when E.T. and Back to the Future and King Kong were the attraction. I mean, they probably still have it, but it isn't the attraction right now. How's your boyfriend doing there? And the E.T. ride, apparently you're supposed to be on a bicycle, but you were in this big go-kart looking thing with bars over your chest. And you got to ride all through the E.T. world like you were on that bicycle with Elliot, the one that goes up by the moon and all that. I'm sorry to hear that, Aunt Laura. Well, we'll send some prayers your way. Maybe that'll help a little. Let's see, what else can I remember? Oh, yeah, I got to see the fireworks there at Epcot Center. That was nice. And I remember there was a bunch of roads named after movies or whatever. And each road smelled different because they were cooking all kinds of things everywhere. I remember that. Well, we'll definitely do that. What have you experienced there at Disney World or Disneyland or whatever it is? April, have you been through it before? I remember there was a Beatles tribute band there when I was there. Everybody looked like the Beatles, but they weren't the Beatles. Matter of fact, I think they were Chinese or something, dressed up like the Beatles. And that was it. That was my great experience with the Disney World. Got to see the underground city. Did you know there was an underground city? Did you know that there are miles and miles and miles of city underneath Disney World? There's shopping malls and all kinds of things under there. They can live their whole life under that city and you never see any of the people. I bet it has changed a lot. It's been years since I've been there, but they still got the underground city, though. I promise you that. That's where all of the employees go. Some of them even live down there. But it's a secret. You work for Disney? I didn't know that. That's terrible. I'm sorry to hear that. There's not a lot they can do about that, is there? Because if they try to clean it out, they could break it up and make it happen. Cause an embolism. No shame in asking. That's how you learn things. And if you didn't ask, we wouldn't know to pray. So say a prayer. Well, we're here for you if you need us. That's a fact. It always has been, always will be. I am sorry to hear the news, but all we can do is pray and hope for the best. Unfortunately, no man knows the hour. Just have to wait and see. I'm searching for something wise to say, and it just isn't coming to me. If there's anything I can help with, please let me know, says April. Same for me. aspirin. That's a good idea. That'll keep the blood thin. Also, couldn't hurt to get on heparin, a blood thinner. That way, if the clot does throw off, at least it'll lower the risk of stroke. They probably already got him on that, though. They like that stuff. An aspirin a day is a good thing, though, for the heart. I don't know about the clogged artery, but the heart is definitely good for that. Well, you got that without question. Keep us posted. Let us know what's up. There's some good stuff in that book we're reading on Sunday that might lighten your spirit a little, or at least comfort you in knowing what's coming. Well, Bear is real aspirin. The other stuff ain't necessarily real aspirin. Anytime you want to take an aspirin, you want it to be real aspirin. And Bayer is one of the better products. There's other ones too, but I think that's the most widely known one. Baby aspirin's pretty good too. I try not to take anything I don't have to take. I don't like it. I don't like what I have to take, but I have to take it, so. I'm about to get on a course of steroids this week. I got a doctor's appointment on Monday, and I'm going to get the big, trying to think of the word of what the name of it is. Prednisone. Get on a course of that, see if they don't help my lungs out any. So I got all kinds of issues going on over here. Pleurisy and everything else. Probably pneumonia. I think I've had walking pneumonia for about a year now. That's just fluid on your lungs is all that is. But I've definitely been having issues. But I'm not going to the doctor because I don't want to find out anything bad. Because there's one thing worse than dying, and that's dreading death. I don't want to sit here waiting for it. When it happens, I want it to just happen. I suppose if you overdo it, it could. Aspirin isn't for causing a stroke, is for thinning the blood, so if you have a heart attack, you can survive it. That's the purpose for the aspirin. And it won't do much for a stroke, I don't imagine. And it may very well cause it, I don't know. I think having thin blood is the way to go if you have plaque buildup, because anytime a piece of that plaque breaks off, it goes to the brain and causes a stroke. But if your blood is moving quickly, it might wash it right on through, you know what I mean? It's the thick blood that causes the problem. So I don't know if aspirin would help for that, but it would definitely help for, like, surviving a heart attack. As far as the stroke thing, though, I think heparin is probably a better drug than aspirin, because it thins the blood out to where it's like thinner than water. I mean, you bump your arm, you'll be bleeding, but it will keep you from having a stroke. Yeah. I don't think there's a whole lot you can do when your body starts going bad, though. It's just a ticking time bomb at that point. To that I say, we're all given a certain allotment of time, and only God knows when the end of that time is. And if he calls your name, there's nothing you can do to stop it. You're going. But until he calls your name, there ain't no reason you shouldn't prevent it at all costs. I don't know. I tend to look at that a little differently than other people do. I know that it's a bone of contention, but I tend to think of it as a tragedy when somebody's born into this world. And I kind of think it's a celebration when they go out of it, because they don't have to put up with this garbage anymore. That's a good thing. Especially nowadays. The world's gone crazy in the last 10 years. It wasn't that bad before, or at least it didn't seem that bad before. But they've just slapped gone crazy now. Speaking of going crazy, would you guys do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and press the bell icon so you get notifications of when I'm going to be online. Smash that like button, smash it hard, smash it like it owes you money. God knows it owes me some. Share this video with somebody you love. Better yet, share it with somebody you don't love. Bring them into the family, make them part of the fold. Be part of their solutions, not part of their problems. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you're thinking about. Question me, curse me, bless me, challenge me, confront me, conform with me, drink my Kool-Aid. As long as you're thinking, that's what I want. Critical thought coming from that brain of yours. And if you dig what I'm doing and you like the message and you'd like to be part of something special, won't you consider supporting this channel by going to paypal.me/JakeJohnsonBand. Every little bit helps. It's a win-win. It's a blessing for me. It's a blessing for you too, because God notices these things. With that, I will round out this video. It is almost the top of the hour, after all. How about that? Be sure to hit that like button, and above all, there's enough of that. It'll lighten the mood a little bit. Hey, 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 hey. Are you ready? There's an ABC your way out of this conversation. That's what that was. I was wondering about that. Got to be careful in this world. There's only two kinds of living. There's good living and bad living. And if you're doing the bad one, it ain't good. I think that made sense. Does that need further explanation? Okay, Jake. Guess I'll see you Sunday. Love y'all. I love you too. And thank you for coming and hanging with me tonight. I enjoy it. Hey, brother. What's up, Kevin? I know there wasn't much going on tonight, but I'm lucky I can talk, so there's that. And I will see you Sunday. And Sunday will be intense, because we're in the book of Jeremiah. Jeremiah gets deep. Are you having a good day, Kev? Hope you are. Hope you're having fun. Sounds like y'all got a big day of plan for tomorrow. I'm pretty much going to stay in bed, I think. Might get a little done. Got a few things that need doing. Can't wait to get into the Book of Diego. I don't know if there is a Book of Diego. Yeah, he might think there is, though. Don't know. Most definitely. Most definitely written in Spanish. Sheesh. And the first 5 chapters are just dates. Okay, April can't keep a signal. Bourbon time. Done driving. Sounds good. I wish the bourbon worked for me. I'd sure be drinking some of it. It just don't do it for me. All right, kiddos. Well, we've reached the top of the hour. Feels like we just got here and already it's time to go. That's the nature of the business, I guess. When you're having fun, time flies. And nobody, and I mean nobody, is having more fun than we are right now. What a blast. Smoking cigarettes and telling tall tales. Can't beat it. Drinking some bourbon. By a nice fire. Can't beat it. There's nothing better. Anyway, I'll see you guys on Sunday, where we'll get into that book and see how deep it'll go down the rabbit hole. See how much we can glean from it. See how much can be learned from it. I'm counting the days. And that's it for this podcast. I hope you had a good time. I hope you enjoyed the conversation, though sad as it may have gotten at times, it was definitely necessary. Sometimes that kind of detail is necessary. Sometimes you just got to get it off your chest. Sometimes you just got to talk about it. And sometimes it's good to deflect and talk about anything but what's going on. But that isn't today. Today is the day we just talk about it. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'm out. I'll see you guys on Sunday, 8 o'clock sharp, with some Jeremiah. I love you with all my heart. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do. And while you're out there in the world, won't you carry a little kindness with you and let them know I sent you. Say, hey, do something nice for somebody and watch it change your life. It always does. Kindness. Let that inner light shine. Prove to everybody you come in contact with that God's words are true and that you're living embodiments of them. Do that, and you will always, always have a good life. Take care of yourselves and each other. I love you with all my heart. I love you true. Thanks for watching.